I'd be throwing, if I was creative people, if I had money in Perth, government money, I'm throwing it to guys like that going, look, fuck man, here's the resources, here's your barriers of entry removed.
Yeah.
Go for your life.
I think it's been a struggle for him.
Well, because he's self-funding and stuff. He doesn't take any shit. Like that's what I like about Johnny Myers. He doesn't take fucking around. You know, he's straight here to do business. He's got so many projects on. That guy has directed like 100 plus music videos. You know, he's insane. He's so insane. And like, man, that's genius, right, for him. So especially that space, like, you know, we've done projection stuff. We've shot so much stuff there. And like, man, just a cool vibe. His dog's running around. Like, it's sick.
Yeah. I think if that goes, there won't be anything like it.
No, there's like, you know, volume walls, you know, like LED walls and stuff are popping up, but like just for vibe, you know, and the amount of creatives, the amount of cool people I've met through there as well.
Yeah.
You know, you wander in, someone wanders in to give Johnny something and then, you know, chatting, next thing you know, you're working together. Yeah. So he's good.
Yeah. And, you know, I think, you know, meeting Dom and Aaron and all those people.
Dom Pierce?
Yeah, Dom Pierce.
He's OG. Oh, he was in that TAFE year as well.
Was he? Yeah.
Maybe I'm not sure, but he worked with Aaron.
Yeah, he's great. You know, I did a similar kind of thing with him recently with his band
Injured Ninja?
Yeah.
Dude, they're sick, that band.
Yeah. So they've got a music video coming out really soon that they put together. So it's like a concept album about the Epic of Gilgamesh.
Oh, bro, I got, someone said I should join that.
Yeah. Well,
because there's heaps of people in that.
That's right. And I'm just like playing the drums in it. Like the first kind of thing we did was this gig at
Pox Eclipse.
No, it was just it was
Recordbite.
The Recordbite. That's it. And yeah, we're open for what was it? The Rammstein band, Rated R. There's a Rammstein cover band.
Yeah, sick.
Anyway, yeah, like we're all dressed up as these kind of Mad Max style characters. I remember I had like half a tire as like a shoulder weapon, and I had this like big metal baseball bat like Slipknot, and I was just smashing a keg throughout the whole gig. But there was heaps of us all just like, you know, and there was even drag queen Tez Osterone, like kind of up there. And yeah, there was a huge amount of us in it. And then they decided they wanted to shoot that like near Kalgoorlie. And so we went and kind of set up this space in this kind of car wrecking yard. And there was quite a few people.
I think I was originally going to get shot in Kew because, you know, at the back of Kew, there's a quarry and a crucifix. That's what I was looking at originally for that.
Yeah, very similar vibe. Yeah. We just got over there and shot it one night. That was quite fun.
Those Recordbite gigs were part of the Blazing Swan. There's like sections in the Church of Belligerents.
You're right, the Church of Belligerents.
That guy, Christian, or Nat Kirk Legner, I think on Facebook, whatever it is. He is fucking creative genius, like old school. Like I feel like he's like meant for 80s Hollywood film stuff. Right. Like his ideas are crazy.
Cool.
And that's how we played it. Wrath of Fenrir played a gig, the gig before that Gilgamesh gig. And we didn't know this guy. I just thought they'll be creative. Talk the boys into it. We went and played this shit. We play our opening like, boom, 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 like heavy bit, Viking bit, and fireballs go off right in front of us. Like right in the corner of the stage. My eyebrows like all yeah, bro, I was like, whoosh, fireballs. We got photos of it. It's fucking right wild. And then he walks in the back and he's made himself like a 20-foot flame cannon. Yeah. It's like a flamethrower. It's just like, you see him walking around. It's just like, what the fuck? And this is inside in this Perth City, nanny state. And I was like, these guys, whatever they want me to do, I'll fucking be a part of it. Because this is like, this is the bit that isn't like going to work in a suit and tie. This is what I want.
Yeah, man, 100%. You know, there's the same thing. When Dom hit me up, I was like, whatever it is, I'll be a part of it. Because I know it's just going to have so many people just throwing awesome creative stuff at it.
Do you think Perth, you know, I mean, obviously we bitch a lot about it being like, you know, such a nanny cookie cutter state and one-dimensional people, you know, just all this sort of stuff, right? And that's just my own chip on the shoulder for no reason. I love it. I live here. I grew up here. But when I delved into this underbelly, creative underbelly, good things are really happening here.
Yes. I think, you know, there's a lot of good creatively in Perth for a lot of reasons. You know, I think that we have an amazingly supportive music scene.
Yeah. Oh, just look at the quality coming out of here.
Yeah. Absolutely. There's always bands from Fremantle that are
Voyager.
popular.
Voyager just played freaking Eurovision.
Man, so many. But and I think my opinion is like a lot of that success comes from the fact that there's no like gambling in WA.
Yeah.
And so there's more places for people to play, more venues that are willing to have a stage and,
That's very interesting. So without pokies, because pokey people don't want to hear loud music coming through the doors.
Yeah. I mean, over in Sydney, like a pub venue would monetarily make more with a pokey room than it would with a stage,
Oh, yeah.
So then they'll just like get that section and just make it a VIP room and it just like brings in money. Whereas here we don't have that option. So it's like, let's have a stage. We can do karaoke. We can have bands, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And I just found when I lived in Sydney, it was a much more, if you were in a band, it was like a competitive environment. Whereas here in Perth, it's like, we're a band, we're going to put on a gig, we're going to let all of our friends open for us.
Yeah.
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 And then in turn, those bands will headline a gig and they'll allow those bands to, and then it creates a system where bands are actually looking out for each other.
Yeah.
And trading, like a creative, making a scene.
So much, good camaraderie. And there's a few old school, like in the metal scene anyway, I discovered like there's a few old school cogs that really make it go, like Dicey and Cabba from Claim the Throne. Dicey was in Pathogen and, but they do that hornography, for example.
Yeah.
And everyone goes and everyone, you don't know these people, but then you get talking to them at the bar or something like that. And then it turns out they do this stuff. And then, you're putting on shows, you're forming bands with people, all my band members came from just talking shit at pub and gigs and stuff, so. But yeah, I think there's a few people that are really just showing what it's all about and let's go for it. Daz from Western Front's the other one.
Yeah.
Without those guys, I don't think there would have been a scene really, but those guys really, and Danny from Voyager all made that scene what it is. And we're just reaping the fruits of their hard work.
Yeah.
Trailblazing and stuff like that. Yeah. Do you ever listen to early Voyager?
Man, I probably, I can't, I mean.
Element B?
I'll have to get really into them.
Into that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. That first album was like game changer.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like, when people talk about watching Michael Jordan in college or something like that, we knew he was better than everybody else. Like when we watched that band for the first time, we were like, poor. That's as good as it gets.
Well, when we went to shoot this Gilgamesh thing, I met Drew from
Carnival. Drew Goddard?
Yeah.
Yeah, hard worker.
Yeah, and that the Martyr album was very important to me growing up.
That was with Lifelike? Was that album?
Oh, yeah.
Dude, such a good album.
Yeah, that's that. I have the CD in my car. Yeah. I remember I listened to it going up and down to Q.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know. I think I was like 13 when I first heard that album. And
production was so good because Drew does it himself, I'm pretty sure.
I'm pretty sure he did nearly every instrument on that record. And I had to tell him when I was chatting to him, I was like, man, that album to me is almost perfect. Like, so awesome.
Yeah. Start to finish.
Like you just put it
Press
on.
play and it just takes you on a journey.
Yeah.
And for something like that to happen, I mean, that album I feel like came out like 2000 or something. 2001.
Well, yeah, like, we were talking about it and he said, he was 19, 20 when he made that.
Yeah.
Like you're talking about young geniuses
and,
like that. Like, I don't think he's even the drummer of that band, right?
Guitarist.
But he did the drums on that band, that record. And it is like some of the most awesome, like progressive drumming. It's awesome.
I didn't know he did drums on that.
I'm pretty sure.
But if you look at what the world was like in 2001, it's like Limp Bizkit, hot dog flavored stuff. If you know that fucking. And that's, and Britney Spears and that culture was going that way. And meanwhile, this guy's coming in Perth, Western Australia, recording a metal album. That good. No one, Catatonia, they weren't doing that in 2001 really. He's really good. Yeah. And do you know what he's doing now? He's doing something really super worthwhile. He's going, I don't know if he's got like Indigenous heritage or anything like that. I've got a feeling he does. But he's been going into remote bush country, like fucking Kununurra, not even beyond, and finding bands out there, putting them up, bringing them to Perth, recording albums with them, getting them gigs, and then they go back. And there was like, remember that High Voltage Festival they just had through Freo?
Yeah.
Yeah. And he had this band, I can't remember the actual real name of the band, but the nickname is Black Adaka.
Yeah,
and there's these dudes from like the back end of Kalgoorlie or something playing like country rock but heavier.
Yeah, awesome.
Fucking amazing.
That sounds great.
He got him. He's recorded an album with him, and then he got him a gig on one of the floats. So they're just flying around float, playing like AC/DC covers and shit.
That's
Dude.
so good.
Yeah, and that's kind of his work right now. And I just think, man, what a fucking superstar.
Yeah.
Yeah, he should be knighted for sure for Perth Night.
Yeah. It showed me some amazing photos of Johnny Cash in Kalgoorlie.
Oh, really?
Yeah, when Johnny Cash came to Kalgoorlie.
Oh, shit, because it's Gold Rush town, I suppose.
Yeah, and that's why apparently Kalgoorlie people like have a very like big love for Johnny Cash, because there's all these photos of him hanging out with this, Indigenous kids and playing guitar with them and in the street and stuff. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
That's fucking cool.
Yeah, there's a few locals that remember that. Having met him like as a little
the day
kid.
Johnny Cash came to town. What's next for you? What are you working on creatively, or what are you thinking about doing, or do you wait for roles to come to you? How does it all work?
Yeah, I'm kind of been in a bit of a transition period. I've kind of not been doing a bit of acting recently, but I think I'm ready to kind of maybe get back into it again. I'll need to kind of compile a bunch of all this stuff that I have sitting in the bank for the last, few years and just put it together.
Yeah. Like a show reel.
Yeah, a little show reel.
Yep.
All my, including some, this music video we've done together. I think there's a lot of...
D&amp.
Yeah.
That scene when you run across the street is fucking terrifying.
Well, I was really lucky with that role because it's got some scenes that really will make a juicy show reel.
Well, I think I cut, like I said, I'm cut from the raw footage scenes, and I think this guy is making this scene. Like there's a scene where Chloe's washing the dishes in the house and you walk in the back door. What was your relationship? Were you husband, wife or something?
We were husband and wife, yeah.
Yeah. And so like they shot, obviously on a set, they're just going to shoot all the action from one angle and then all the action from the other angle. And like when I did the assembly edit, just to show the director for the dailies, what they'd shot or whatever. And I think I hung on you for the entire time. It fucking was terrifying.
Yeah.
And in the house, I turned off all the lights, turned up the volume, put in temp track, made it all work. And I was like, holy fuck.
Yeah. It's quite a harrowing little scene, and I remember seeing the preview and we had the Q&A afterwards. And even someone asked like, that scene didn't seem like it fit in the movie very well. And I think it's just because it comes in, it's like this really...
You come across the back behind. So you're looking at her face doing dishes, looking out the window.
Yeah.
And then you see you appear in the back in the silhouette almost. And then just slowly fucking with your body control, like hover towards her at an agonizingly so pace. And I held that shot. And yeah, when you look at the timeline in the edit in Resolve, whatever, it's like 2 minutes of one shot and everything else is fast cuts. So you're kind of like, fuck.
Well, yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ, man,
yeah,
terror.
The implication or the suspense of violence about to happen is more harrowing than sometimes and even like when the violence does happen, it's through a window. I choreographed this bit of kind of a wrestle that happens in the kitchen, and then that was fun, kind of being able to be given the opportunity to even choreograph that stuff myself. Yeah. Like, do you think it's because the director didn't know what they were doing? Well, it was good. I communicated with the director like beforehand about what she wanted, and then I kind of brought some things. But it was kind of like I said a few things, and then she was like, "All right, cool, no, what? You go for it." And I was like, "Okay, well, yeah, I think." When a director says that, you just kind of go, all right, I'll just give them what I have. I've been waiting this moment my whole life. There were lots of moments like that where I was kind of like, all right, but I think when you are going to do a piece of like, violence in film, you have to really talk to your co-workers and make sure that they feel safe, Didn't you drown her in the dishes or something? So do you feel safe? Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, so we did this section where basically she comes up against the wall and I've got her by the neck. Yeah. And then I slowly lift her up the wall. Yeah. But how we do this is the camera is actually at a very low height.
Yeah.
So she's sitting on a milk crate.
Yeah.
And then my hands very loosely around her neck. And what she does is she